Welcome to Stroke of Genius Show Executive Experience. I got a really neat show today. I got JohnLargent of Senior Care Movement on the show. Today we're going to be talking about senior care and tsunami that is coming. And we're going to get John to tell us about the statistics. How many people are becoming seniors? So I want to get right into it. We only got 30 minutes and I want to get right into it. So let's go.
Welcome to the Stroke of Genius Show, Executive Experience. And now, here's your host, CEO Aaron Avila.
Good morning, John.
Hey, Aaron. It's good to see you again, buddy.
Really good. Yeah, we just did a show together on my stroke channel. Wednesday. So it's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure to work with you. You're a definite professional. I appreciate that. I've learned a lot. But John, do us a favor. Let's introduce you and introduce what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, my name is JohnLargent. I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I am the founder and chief community leader at Senior Care Movement. And we'll jump into what that's about, but it's basically, if I had to sum it up in one word, it's a community where people that want to change their careers, they want to change their community, and they want to take more control over their lives and serve people in their community can all meet together in one place and work in a collaborative environment where everyone helps each other.
Yeah, we titled the show Senior or the what we titled the show. I forgot my serpent, just forgot. Why did you, because you picked the title, why did you title today's show the way it is?
Yeah, there's a reality that's happening in our country right now that some people, especially people in our industry, realize, but maybe not the entire country realizes the silver tsunami. And I don't love that terminology because a lot of times tsunamis, well, always tsunamis represent destruction and damage and those things. And that's certainly not what I don't think was meant by the terminology. But the fact is that our country is getting older. The baby boomers, that group between 1946 and 1964, are hitting, and you may have heard this terminology, they're hitting the age of 65 and numbers of 10,000 every day. And people are hitting the age of 70 at 12,500 every day. So our community, our country, and the globe too, but speaking specifically about the U.S., we're going to have 74 million people that are over the age of 70 by 2030. And that's almost a third of our entire country. And so about 80% of those people, it's been shown, Genworth did a study and said about 75 to 80% of those are going to need some kind of senior care. And like any other industry, Aaron, when things start to grow, there's an industry that grows around it. Like, for example, we have a Toyota plant here in San Antonio, and that's great. And not only did the plant was built in that area, but all these other industries that support that Toyota plant were built around it. And it's the same in the senior care space. And so navigating those waters is becoming quite treacherous because, like any other business, unfortunately, there are a lot of shifty people in that community that want to just take advantage of seniors because they're our most vulnerable, other than our newborns. They're our most vulnerable citizens, and people do unscrupulous things. And so, to have a servant's heart and to serve that large community, we're going to need a movement of people that are unhappy with what they're doing in their current job and want to see what else is out there. And so that's what we're working towards.
That's really great. I mean, I think I don't necessarily know. Tsunami in this case means destruction. It means wave, it means huge. It's bigger than we think. But like, listen to that you just shared. And then I think it's like death. We don't like to talk of death. We don't like to talk about aging. And we're raised as a society to believe this. But we need to bring awareness to that, to stroke, to verse. But the senior movement, what did you say per day is becoming seniors?
Yeah. Yeah. You said a lot of things there that we don't pay attention to, I think, as a community in the US and globally. Some countries do it better than others, but we don't prepare. The other day when we were talking on your show about when something happens, that lightning strike is happening right now in somebody's home. It's happening right now in somebody's home. It is happening almost every second of the day, and people are unprepared. And so you're forced as a family, oftentimes, when something happens so quickly, whether it's a fall, whether it's a stroke, whether it's a heart attack or some type of neurological situation, you have to make decisions very, very quickly that are in the tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars within just a few days, because we don't prepare. So when we don't prepare, and most of us don't, we need somebody there that has our best interest at heart. It's somebody that is going to walk us through those scenarios and give not only their best judgment, but share with you and talk about it. Because in the world, we just don't have a lot of people that can do that are going to be your advocate out there in the community and help find the best decisions. And in the world we live in now, Aaron, we don't live near our parents. I live in South Texas, and someone else here may have families that live in New Jersey or Kansas or where. And so they need eyes and ears on the ground to help navigate those waters, because they can't be here to physically help. And so the senior care movement is all about creating an environment where people with servants' hearts and integrity and just a care for our senior population can come together and work collaboratively and learn a new skill, learn how to navigate. You don't have to know everything about senior care. You don't have to know everything about the medical side. And what you need to learn to do is be that quarterback, that Sherpa, that person that can help make those decisions and do the legwork and create the opportunities for families to make decisions that are going to best serve their needs. And we just are sorely lacking that right now. And so during COVID, when people went through, and I'm sure a lot of you and the listeners heard about the Great Resignation, where people were taking inventory of their life, they wanted to do something else. I don't know what that is, but maybe this is it. Maybe it's something where you feel like you're being pulled toward helping, that greatest generation, those people that are aging, that, it's so heartbreaking sometimes when I go in and talk to someone. I've been contacted by a family and I go meet their mom or dad. And in most cases it's their mom. And I'm like the only person they've seen that month in person.
Wow.
They're shut in. They have their groceries delivered to them. They just don't have that human touch. And it's one of those things, man, where I really feel like this is what I've been drawn to do. And I know that if I feel that way, that there have to be hundreds and if not thousands of people that feel the same way. And we want to go through this journey together and serve your local community in a way that you're able to put people in the right place with the right situation for their families, and do it with integrity and do it with, again, their best interest and not, the best interest of the company that I may be referring you to because I get a big fat commission. We don't do that at all. We have approached it a completely different way.
Now, you're not a franchise, correct? I mean,
Nope.
You're just a guide, you say.
Yeah, we have an education course. Right now it's online. We are going to start offering some in person, but it's your business. And we share with you how to create this for yourself. There's no franchise fees or anything like that. It's not I mean, again, the name is movement. Yeah, and a movement is something bigger than yourself, and it's bigger than even the group of people you're working with. It's something that takes hold at a grassroots level, and is something that you'll fight for and you believe in, and so that's what we're working to do. We just kicked this thing off, and I've heard so many positive things about what we're doing, and we're learning. This is one of those things where it's almost a working lab. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I know what I want to do. I know what the end result is. And it's both helping the families first and foremost that are going through some senior care needs, but also that individual that is looking for something different in their life and they want to take control. They want to have more freedom. We talk about work-life balance all the time, and that in the corporate world, it doesn't exist. Because I was there for 28 years, and this actually gives you the freedom, whether you have young kids or whether you want to work 4 days a week or whatever. You can kind of craft your own work life schedule that best serves you, and most importantly, best serves your clients. So yeah.
Yeah, I think, John, I think there's two words that you said over and over again, even when I do my research: service, integrity.
Yeah.
Those two, I'm going to tell anybody out there watching, I serve the stroke community, and John serves the senior community, and you can serve. And I'm telling you right now, from a servant's heart, there's nothing better in life than service. Really. Don't you agree, John?
I do. And it's unfortunate that, that there are things out there. I'll give you an example that you may not even think of that happens, but this happens every single day. I had a client that had a caregiver living in their home, and the caregiver started taking the client to her bank once a week and was taking out large sums of cash. And we looked at surveillance camera footage and things like that, and we realized that this client was in early stages of dementia, and this caregiver recognized that to the point where she started just embezzling money from the lady that she was taking care of. And that happens all the time, and it's so sad, and it makes me angry. It really is something that and I can give you other examples of people's family homes being signed away to people that just have selfish and greedy intentions. And we just have to do better. We have to do better in taking care of our senior community. But back to your point, it's that servant's heart that makes the difference in letting me know that there are people out there that want to do the right thing. And I'm just trying to create a vessel to create that for them and for us to go through that together. So I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do think that there is a way that we can, as a movement, can grow forward and take care of our seniors in a lot of different ways.
That is awesome. I'm going to give you a real life. Recently, that my wife just got approved to take care of my mother-in-law, which lived with us. But she walked into the Social Security office, the entire room of people waiting to be approved to be a caregiver. There were drug addicts and tweakers. That's why I want to back you up on the integrity, because what's happening to our seniors out there, it infuriated my wife. She was very upset that tweakers and drug addicts were taking care of our seniors, and that really upset her. Really upset them. They invited her to get involved.
Yeah. And again, that goes back to creating your own. When you become a senior care advisor, you're a consultant, you're a community leader, you're all of those things. You're an educator. Whether you go to the local Lions Club or the Kiwanis or speak at a church group, or come on a podcast. I think it's your obligation. And I think people really embrace this because they have that same fire in their heart to take care of people. And so it's more than just dealing with the seniors and their families, which is absolutely the most important. But it goes back to educating. What can you do to avoid those last minute decisions that could cost you $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 because you've done an hour's worth of prep time ahead of time? And so we walk people through the entire process to when you're all healthy and fit, to when that lightning bolt strikes, like you talked to, then you have an action plan to go into directly that is going to take all the guesswork out of the decision-making process that you make. And if, you know, what's the old, was it Ben Franklin that said ounce of prevention or a pound of,
yeah,
I can't remember the saying, but you know what, I butchered that horribly, but it's just like doing some things that you can do ahead of time to ensure that when that time comes, and make no mistake about it, it's going to come. It may not come for you. It may come for a loved one. It may come for a family member, a cousin, an aunt, and uncle, but you are probably already touched in your life right now by somebody that's going through some really difficult challenges in dealing with senior care, whether it's housing or, dealing with people with ALS or dementia or Alzheimer's, reconfiguring a home after a stroke. You know, as we talked about on Wednesday, my dad had a stroke when he was 44, and we had to do a lot of modifications to make his life as normal as it could be because of his physical limitations. And so all of those things, you have to have at least a contingency plan to think about. And so that's one of the things as we grow and expand this senior care movement that we're going to be addressing in a lot of different ways. And I said, it's very much in its embryonic stage, but it's going to be people that are watching and people that are interested that are going to help mold and create the future of the senior care movement.
Well, let me, I'm going to bite it with this perfect timing. Let me pull, I want to show you the QR code that you can scan to go to John's website and read more about it. But take your phone, scan the QR code, it'll launch his website, and you can learn more about this movement because, I hear you talking about, John, I hear you talking about the oncoming silver tsunami. But, the word oncoming, warning horns. You be prepared. You were saying it. You said it with my stroke. On my stroke show, I'm talking about my speech because I'm excited. But be prepared. Better to be prepared than to wait the last minute. You think you hear me to speak right now? If you listen to the podcast or watch a video, you can see it. But at age 47, I suffered a massive brain aneurysm and stroke. And I wasn't prepared. My wife had no idea what stroke was. We figured everybody in the 80s had strokes. But it wasn't true. Your dad, how old was your dad?
He was 44.
44 years old. So what beheaded the silver tsunami? Get hold of John. I'm going to bring up his website one more. Because again, I see a need for this service.
Yeah, and it's something that is needed everywhere. So, no matter what size your community, whether you live in a big metropolitan area, whether you live in a small community or village, whether you live on the coast or in the Midwest, it doesn't matter. Everybody goes through this. And I would say, because I know you have a large audience, I've worked with some families in the UK. I've worked with some families in Sweden. I've worked with, because it's not, borders don't matter when it comes to taking care of your loved ones. And there are some different laws in different countries about what you can and can't do. And I certainly am not, an attorney and things like that. But, as an advisor, you take the best information you have at the time, and you always let the families decide for themselves, but you present them with information based on their needs and what they're looking for. And sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for. So you help them with that process as well. But it's one of those situations where having someone to be beside you that doesn't have an ulterior motive, because I'll tell you, I've worked with families that have like 4 sons or daughters or 5 sons and daughters. And each one of those sons or daughters have a different opinion about what they want, what they think is best for their loved one. And so sometimes I have to put on a referee's jersey, and I have to deal with some family issues that are dynamics that have been there for maybe 30, 40 years. But as those things happen, you become, and as you go through them, you become more comfortable with sharing the information with them on what would be best and the options that they have, rather than letting the emotions, because yes, I care deeply about my clients, but I'm not emotionally attached by family ties or by a specific interest. I want to do what's best for the client. And so sometimes it takes hearing that from a third person or an outside party to really let that sink in with a family that, yeah, maybe what I'm being is selfish right now, and I need to think what's best for mom or dad. And so there are a lot of different dynamics that go along with that.
Well, John, you don't want to think about, let's say, I'm use my stroke as an example. It happens. All of a sudden, a fall of your mom or dad triggers you to begin to think maybe it's time to start thinking about, care for somebody.
Yeah.
But
well, and the other side of that too is, say mom or dad has lived in the same house for 40 or 50 years, and they've had a fall and they can't go back to that home. And so you're forced to be in a situation where mom or dad has to go into an assisted living. Well, assisted living, at least in my part of the world, can be between $6,000 and $9,000 a month. And not a lot of people have that just sitting around on hand. Some people do, but not a lot of people. And it's insurance companies, unfortunately, don't pay for that at this point. And so you're forced into a situation where you may have to sell mom or dad's home to pay for the care that they're going to receive in the assisted living. Now, you talk about a transactional, just firestorm of different things happen. I've got to move her out. I've got to find someone to buy the house. I've got to convert that into cash and make that happen for care. So there are all these things that happen at the same time, and we're just woefully unprepared for it as a society. And so, again, the goal of the senior care movement is to have people like me and you going and talking to families and working with them to find the best solutions for them. And and there's no playbook. You can't just say, for this price, we'll do this, because everybody's got a different situation. Everybody, and you have to be keenly aware of what they need and how you can best serve them.
Now, John, I'm curious. I'm bringing up that website again. Is this a way to get hold of you and touch? Say there's somebody out there right now that was watching this video on the replay, and they want more opportunity, want more information on actually becoming part of your movement.
Yeah.
So that's the place to go.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can go to seniorcaremovement.com, and you can kind of see that the framework of what we're doing. You can also email me anytime at john@seniorcaremovement.com. And if you just want to talk about your situation and what direction you think might be best for you, or if you're calling on behalf of a loved one, we can have that conversation too. It's one of those things where people are looking for resources, and all they see are, one website for a company that looks just like another website that looks for a company, and they all look fantastic. Yeah. And until you do the homework, which you don't have time to do, that's when you come to a senior care advisor. We've done the homework, and we know, especially as this thing grows, whether you live in Kentucky or Indiana or Texas or California or wherever, we're going to know that local community backwards and forwards, and they're going to be able to help you make the decisions that are going to be best for you.
That is really, the thing about, I know you in the beginning of the show said you didn't like the word tsunami because of mean destruction, but I will say, I'm saying tsunami, though, here's the warning horns going off. I'm the warning about stroke, but now I'm going to warn you about senior care because it's coming. I'm one of them. John's one of them. You're one of them. You're watching the show. I guarantee your clock is tick a due. I don't care what age you are. You're going to become a senior one time in your life. Guaranteed. Not going to get out of it. And I think it's really great. Now, I think it's part I want to touch on a little more that I don't know that I really did, but you're giving the opportunity for other people to get involved with the movement. And we talked a little about this, but I'm telling you, I've seen opportunity, business opportunity that's based with service.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have you repeat one more time. What do people do if they're out there and they're saying, I'm done with the 9 to 5. I'm done with not spending time with my family. I want to dictate my own business. How did they get involved with the movement, John?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, you can learn this while you still have your current job. So this isn't something you have to just stop and do something new. Now I did that because I'm kind of an all-in guy. And, but, especially for like teachers and people that have summers off and have, the ability to have some flexibility, or if you're a lifelong learner and you want to take a course at night that will help you with this process, you can learn this business in a relatively short amount of time with not only the online course, but we have live training every Saturday morning. And we also, once we have a group that's large enough, we want to start meeting in person a few times a year in different parts of the country and meet and collaborate and share and grow and have speakers that are experts in different fields. And so, but the career opportunity is real. People not only want your help, they need your help. And as we know in business, when there's a need out there that's not being met and you offer a service that is going to allow that need to be met, there's a demand for it. And so I can assure you, it's not there's no get rich quick philosophy to this. This is going out in your community and educating your community and being out there. And then once people know who you are and what you're about, they are going to gravitate towards you because they know you're doing the right thing for the right reason, with the right mindset. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases, I don't want to say every case, but in a number of cases, your family is just a number. I will tell you, and I'll give you one quick piece of advice. If you ever need help, do not call a place for mom or connect them in any way.
Right.
A place for mom, and this is industry wide, but they take your information and they sell it to everybody in your community. And they keep calling you. And I've had several people, and I this is factual. I'm not talking out of school, and I don't usually say anything negative about any company, but they will continue to call you and harass you. And I've seen many times where they've continued to call families even after that loved one has died. And that's just wrong. And so reach out to your local senior care advisor, or become the local senior care advisor in your community. And you can make a living beyond, with work and with time. You can create the life that you want with the income you want. And at the core of it, you're helping and serving seniors and their families in your community.
Incredible. We're down the end show, but before we go, please repeat your email address or how the best way people get hold of you.
Yeah, the best way is to just reach out to me at John at seniorcaremovement.com. And the website kind of gives you the basis of the platform and the program. But yeah, reach out to me there, and I do respond to every email I receive. So yeah, any questions or comments, or if you want to help, whatever our correspondence is going to be, I look forward to it, and I hope you do reach out and learn more about it.
Well, John, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. I think over the last Wednesday, and if you have not seen the show John and I did about stroke, my dad had a stroke. I'll put a link in the YouTube video, and so you can watch the show, because I highly recommend it. A great show. And this show, again, helps service.
Well, and Aaron, I want to say this before we go. What you do is a tremendous service. And I know that you have built this and continue to be consistent, and you're serving a community just like I am, that desperately, they don't want help, they need help. And your continual presentation with information and just the knowledge base you have, both from your personal experience to the things you and your family have gone through, is that's an amazing service. And I just wanted to thank you for that, because it's a real honor to be on your show and to share, my story and what I'm doing. But I do not want to diminish what you do and all the things that you have going on. And there's some exciting things that you're doing that hopefully I can be a part of and help any way I can as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I think as we look at our two service industries that we serve, the people we serve, we can easily mesh them together, because we can help each other. But I want to encourage you out there, get a hold of Senior Care, JohnLargent, Senior Care Movement, and talk to him and see what you can do to serve your community, because there's no better thing in life than serving another person. There's no better, more fulfillment. Money doesn't take its place. There's no better fulfillment than serving people. John, I appreciate being here. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate it.
Have a great day, bro.
You too.
Like what you just heard? Visit c-suiteradio.com. C-Suite Radio, turning the volume up on business.